Good morning, students. I'm your educator Dolcy, and today we are going to do our last topic from this chapter, that is about the seed. So, first of all, we should be familiar with that what are seeds. So, seeds are nothing, they are the final product of the sexual reproduction that are usually known as a kind of fertilized ovule. So when the ovule get mate or fertilized with the male gamete, the formed structure is said to be the seed. So seeds are usually a typical type of characters or the part of plant which consists of a covering that is said to be the seed coat, and it have reserved food in the form of cotyledons and ultimately the embryo, which finally when the seed germinates, it develop into a new plant. So the cotyledons are primarily for the storage of the food. They are quite swollen. So usually seeds are of two type. They can be non-albuminous or seeds can be albuminous. The seeds are said to be non-albuminous if they have no residual endosperm. It means endosperm is for providing nourishment. If all the endosperm that is for providing nourishment to the growing embryo, it get used up or consumed up, the type of seeds are said to be non-albuminous. Example, pea and the ground nut. In comparison with this, the other type of seeds are said to be the albuminous type of seeds. The seeds are said to be albuminous if the endosperm or the nourishing tissue is not completely used up. It means it is present in the seed so that it can provide nourishment to the growing embryo. For example, it is in wheat, in maize, in barley, in castor and in sunflower. So, the important point here to notice is about the perisperm. As you are familiar with, the cellular structure or the cellular component present in the inside the ovule is known as the nucellus. So the remnant of that nucellus or the residual persistent nucellus is said to be the perisperm. Next are, as you are familiar with the integuments are nothing. These are just the coverings which surround the nucellus. So they form a cuff protective sheath around the seed. So as you know, the important point about the seed is its dormancy. If the seed is more the seed is dormant, more it is useful for you. For example, if you have seen, if you saw the grams for more than 8 to 10 hours, it will form some white kind of outgrowths at its surface. Those outgrowths are said to be the plumule and radicle. When we sow those germinating seedlings into the soil, it will ultimately grow into a plant. So what is the dormancy? It is the period uh, within which the embryo get inactive. It means it doesn't germinate in that period, but whenever it receives the favorable condition, it grows or germinates. So higher the dormant or rest period, higher will be the probability that we can store that seed or we can use those seeds for the future time. As you know, it is necessary for every type of seed that it must get or it must receive some kind of specific moisture, oxygen and suitable temperature. These are necessity for the germination of the seeds. So if the seeds get germinate, so the necessary requirements are moisture, oxygen and suitable temperature. Next is uh, next is as the ovule it matures, ठीक है, the outermost covering that forms around the ovary, that is as a wall of ovary, that is said to be the pericarp. So what is pericarp? It is the wall of ovary that develop as the wall of the fruit. The outermost covering of the fruit is said to be the pericarp. Peri means outermost, carp means covering. So the outermost covering of the fruit is said to be the pericarp. Every type of fruit usually which are fleshy inside, they have pericarp. The fruits may be fleshy as in guava, orange, mango, or maybe in dry as in groundnut and mustard. Some as you know, For the dispersal of the seed, what is necessary? That seeds should be dispersed from one place to another via any kind of agent. That is via water, that can be via insect, that can be via animals or any kind of source. Or this can be possible if animals do this task. For, as you know, animals are quite selfish. They can transfer the pollen grains from one place to another only if they get some benefit from that. So the fruit is that benefit. For the fruit, the animals eat the seed as well, and then they spit it from one location to the another. Via spitting, the movement of the pollen grains or the seed takes place from one place to the another, and the dispersal of the seeds takes place. So next point is about the types of flowers. Flowers are usually of two types. First one are false fruit, second are said to be the true fruits. If the thalamus, which usually gets shed off after the fertilization, if it contributes into the formation of fruit, the fruit is said to be the false. For example, apple, for example, strawberry, and for example, cashew. Or if the fruit develop only from the ovary, other parts like sepal, petal, and the thalamus, they get shed off, the fruit is said to be the true fruit. So important point, it is very important that fruits are usually of three types. First are true fruits, second are the false fruit, and third one are the parthenocarpic fruits. False fruits are those in which thalamus contribute into the formation of the fruit. True fruits are those in which the unnecessary parts, like the non-necessary type of parts like thalamus, sepal, petal, they shed off, and only ovary is responsible for the formation of fruit. Third one are the parthenocarpic type of fruits. So what are parthenocarpic fruits? If you are familiar with the parthenocarpy, so parthenocarpy is the process in which the seedless fruits are formed. So the absence of seed is the characteristic feature of the parthenocarpic fruits. The fruits are said to be parthenocarpic only when they lack seeds. So banana is the best ever example of the seedless fruit which develop fruit without undergoing fertilization. Now, as we have seen, naturally the seedless grapes are also harvested nowadays, but this can be induced by some kind of hormones which reduces the formation of the seeds. So next point about seed is the structure of the maize grain. I think it is very important for the Punjab School Education Board. So you must be familiar with this diagram of the maize. It's a kind of monocotyledonous type of seed. It comprises of the outermost covering. As you know, it is the pericarp. Then the nourishment providing tissue, it is present in a single form, that is said to be the endosperm. Next one is the scutellum, as we have done in our last lecture. The scutellum is present only in the monocotyledonous type of seed. Next, the plumule and radicle. Plumule result in formation of the shoot, and radicle, it result in the formation of the root. Above the plumule, a structure is present, that is said to be the cauliopatile, and above the radicle, a leaf remnant is present, that is said to be the caulerhiza. Ultimately, we can say that the cauliopatile is for the protection of the covering of the plumule, and radicle is as a covering of the radicle. So get familiar with this kind of diagram. It is important for Punjab School Education Board. Other diagrams are not too important, but see as well. Next, as about the apomixis and polyembryony. So what is apomixis and polyembryony? Poly means multiple, embryony means embryos. If number of embryo is high, that is said to be the polyembryony. So what is the apomixis? Apomixis is nothing, as in some cases of plant like the astreas and the grasses, a special mechanism occurs which produce seed without fertilization, that is said to be the apomixis. Apomixis is nothing, as its name implies, it is a kind of asexual reproduction, but it mimics the actions of the sexual reproduction. In this way, as you know, in asexual reproduction no seed formation takes place, but in apomixis seed formation takes place. So in this process, that is the apomixis, the formation of the embryo takes place, or the seeds takes place without any fertilization. So example of this are many, like astreas and other kind of grasses. Next is the embryony, which is observed in citrus fruit. They have more than one embryo in their fruit. Like example, our orange and the lemon. Thank you.